It's difficult to be in the minority when all of your friends like a movie, but you, for whatever reason, didn't. But you really don't want to identify with the toxic, myopic people who also dislike the thing, but for them it's just on principle. Because I'm a big Anthony Bourdain fan, and I watched Tony yesterday after looking forward to it for months, and it didn't work for me. I don't think it's a bad movie, I don't think it's an insult to Anthony Bourdain's memory, but I do want to talk about why I didn't like it. The best things this movie has going for it are that it's a solid coming-of-age movie, it's a really good travel ad for Cape Cod, Antonio Banderas is a delight as always, and I really enjoyed all of the summer life montages that we get throughout the film. I think those are the best directed parts of the movie. But the movie first lost me with choices I want to keep separate from the Anthony Bourdain of it all. So approaching this movie like it's not about Anthony Bourdain, it's just a period piece coming-of-age movie in the 70s. I really hated the dating subplot. I thought the main character was too dislikable, and I really hate the way it handles drug use. And we're gonna start with the drug use. I don't hate it because of some moral failing. I hated it because it didn't impact the story enough. It never felt properly consequential. If this is a fictional story, we don't have context for a real person it's based on. What we see on screen is somebody watching someone else do heroin. And it looks a little scary, and then later he approaches that same character again to help him with something. They do a little crime together, and it gives an after-school special quality. And then that character, who we saw do hard drugs, who helped him commit a crime, who didn't get a thing that he was promised, just wanders off at the end of the movie. And it's not that I needed more to happen with that character, and it's not that I needed to see our protagonist also taking part, but frankly, the vibe was giving Seventh Heaven. Next, your protagonist is a real creep to the main love interest. And not only does she forgive him in the finale for no reason, she asks him to come find her at school because somehow he won her heart by cooking some clams. And that's not the only woman in this movie who gets mistreated as a character. There's the bartender whose wrist Tony grabs, and then he gets hired with no consideration of her safety, just a shot reverse shot look between the two of them, after he apologized to Chef for his behavior, not her. Overall, Bourdain is a really dislikable character, and not dislikable for the ways that Bourdain quote at the beginning of the movie sets him up to be. Not because he's a disrespectful, cocky punk, but because he's a mopey, self-involved incel. Which, you know, not irrelevant in 2026, but I don't think we actually see the character grow sufficiently from that place for us to like him, except for the promise that he will one day become Anthony Bourdain. But here's where I will get into the Anthony Bourdain of it all, because they could have made this character more likable by giving him any traits of Anthony Bourdain. They could have given us glimpses of Bourdain's sense of humor, the way he observed people, the way he would turn a phrase, the way he would reference media and literature, and probably most relevantly, the way he could smile like a cocky punk. So if I take this movie strictly as a movie having nothing to do with anything else I have familiarity with, then I think it's mostly well made but struggles in some big places, most specifically